everyone, this is Rock from StageInTheSky.com, and today I want to talk about Mary Sue's and these strong female characters that are all the rage, and that they keep popping up on Disney Plus, on Netflix shows, every movie, TV shows. You see like the strong female protagonists, and I'm not gonna say that all of it's bad, but it's a bit much. And recently it's come up again. I've already talked about this in other essays when it comes to how the strong female antagonist is affecting our culture. And it came up because basically another professional writer basically created a Twitter post and he made threats and he listed some strong points. The people who had a problem with what he was saying when it comes to the Mary Sue, first off, for those who don't know, the Mary Sue is basically a female character that basically has no flaws. Like, she is good at everything from the get-go. She does not stumble. She is not embarrassed. She's not inferior to other people, especially other men. And she's like that from the get-go, from the beginning of the story. For those who don't know, I'm a writer since 2009. Even before then, I basically graduated from a film school, so I have a degree when it comes to screenwriting. And then in 2012, I focused on writing novels because I basically gave up on the entertainment industry when it comes to film. And then in 2012, when I started publishing books or focusing my attention on books, I basically saw how the publishing industry was just almost like the entertainment. I won't say corrupt, but it is like that. So when you see like the She-Hulk and all these movies that have the strong female protagonist, it wasn't by mistake. It's not like, oh, this is what the people wanted and people are cashing in on the trend. No, this is what the entertainment industries wanted. This is what the people basically the people who are in power, like the ones who greenlight scripts, the ones who say yes or no when it comes to publishing books and stories, they're in that position. They're the gatekeepers, you know? So it's not like, oh, this is what people wanted. This is what those entertainment people, the executives wanted. And like I said, since 2012, I've been seeing it. When I write a book and I try to get it published, you have to send it to agents, and you see on their page what kind of stories they're looking for. Almost every one of them are looking for a strong female protagonist or someone who's LGBTQ, whatever. And if you're black, they want you to focus on the adversity, you know, when it comes to, being black. So the guy who talked about Mary Sue's and brought up some strong points about why these characters are annoying, he was attacked, and they were like, oh, well, basically here's a guy who only wants his females to be oppressed and stuff like that. I'm going to, first off, let me explain why I thought initially the strong female protagonist was a good idea, all right? Because like you and like everyone, since you were a kid, when you see heroes, when you see movies and TV shows, you're inspired by these characters, right? Like, the reason why they're heroes, the reason why they're protagonists is because they're doing something you wish you could do. So you want to uplift yourself, like hold these characters to an ideal. You have these ideals of virtues and being a hero. So like young boys, I'm talking from male's perspective, we grew up wanting to be like these characters, right? So when I saw the rise of the strong female protagonists, I thought it was a good thing because, it's not a bad thing for a woman to be empowered, to protect herself, to defend herself, to fight for what she wants in life, and to go for what she wants in life. Even as a Christian, and I do have traditional views, I do believe that if you're not traditional, if you do seek something better than what's been passed down or what's been expected of you, if you really want that, I say go for it. The problem is that I see a lot of people wanting all the benefits without the conditions that come along with it. All right. I think that's the gist of the Mary Sue problem, is because when you see stories like Rey or Galadriel or all these strong female characters, and they're perfect, almost perfect, Captain Marvel, just no flaws, super strong from the get-go, and you don't see the sacrifices, you don't see, how they failed multiple times, and each failure basically made them stronger and got them better. Part of getting there, the journey of getting better, is really cool. That's why I always say, oh, Rock, what would you do if you won $1 million? I wouldn't want to win $1 million. I would like to work for it. I like to earn it, because then it's just better. Not everyone has that mentality. Some of us don't like to work. Some of us don't care for all that hard work. And maybe that's why Galadriel and all these Mary Sue's are, some people do like them, because they don't want the conditions that comes with the benefits of being a hero or being a strong person. All right, so let me jump to some examples of characters I've written. A book that's coming out next month is called The Perennial War of Paramours. It's already up on my website, but I'm going to talk about two characters, all right? One is Anna Marie, and the other is Gladys Vandelay. Anna Marie, let's start with her first. Anna Marie, the reason why she is a strong female protagonist in my book, and she is not a Mary Sue, is because I tailored her after a real person that I knew. That's kind of one of the annoying things about the Mary Sues in TV and books and movies, is because you don't know any people like this, right? You don't know anyone who's straight up perfect from the get-go. Or if they do seem perfect, you realize soon enough, oh yeah, they are human. My Anna Marie, the character that's in my book, The Perennial War of Paramours, she is a strong person. Like, she's very, I wouldn't say single-minded, but she knows what she wants. She goes after it. She's very brave and courageous, but she has some flaws too. And this is, flaws that you see in, all right, so this is going to sound sexist, but we all know, like, let's stop lying to each other. One of the beautiful things, the best stories, the most timeless stories are the ones that are built in honesty, right? Like, that's an author or writer's most powerful weapon, is their honesty, and everyone's different. That's why characters, like, if you see a character that reminds you of another character, that's because you're just basically copying each other. But if you have an author or writer and their stories are baked in honesty, that's what makes their story unique and separates them from other stories. Anna Marie is based off a real character, a person I know, and her flaw is she's impulsive. She doesn't think about the future. She doesn't think about the consequences. She thinks too much about the here and now, right? So she's all about fun. She's basically ruled by her emotions, and let's be honest, a lot of ladies are like that. That's not a problem, but it does need to be reined in. And basically the character in my book, like, she isn't perfect off the bat. She gets hurt. I won't go into detail, but she gets hurt brutally, and it's a life-changing experience that basically shaped her life and molded her into the hero that she became, right? And I think a lot of women are like that. It's sad that they have to go through, because you often hear this, oh, well, the reason why she's looking for a good man now is because she basically dated all these assholes. And it's like, yeah, it's sad. A lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men, they don't have good parents who basically instilled in them, okay, this is what you look for, so they basically have to get out there, learn on their own, get hurt, and then finally get right, and my character's kind of like that. She gets hurt, and then she starts looking for the good man, and she becomes the character that she is. Gladys Vandelay, same thing. Like, she's very rambunctious, she's very headstrong, but she wasn't like that at the beginning of the story. At the beginning of the story, she's the youngest daughter of a family of, I think, the Hiltons, right? She's in a very rich family, but she's youngest daughter, so that she has older brothers and sisters. And for all of us who have brothers and sisters, we all know, like, there's some of us who are more talkative, and then you have a brother and sister who's just the quiet one because the older brothers are overpowering the conversation. So you just take that role as the quiet, timid one. That's Gladys Vandelay at the beginning of the story. But after, basically, her passion was music. She's a violinist, and basically, what happened in the story is that one of her sisters spread a malicious rumor about her music instructor having his way with her, and the music instructor ended up committing suicide based on this false accusation, and it changes my character Gladys. It hurts her. Like, between that and the fact that the only person she loved in this world was her own father, and something happens with her father that basically changes her life, she basically shakes herself from the quiet, timid person that she was, and she becomes more headstrong, more vocal, and more powerful. Like, she has a fierceness in her that was awakened, and people need to see that. People need to see, why are you like this, okay? Because I'll tell you something, and we all know this, when it comes to strong female characters, we all know what that really means. When you say strong female character, what you're really saying is a woman who acts like a man. Let's be honest, all right? Galadriel, Rey, Captain Marvel, like, these are female characters. You see them as female, they have a woman's body, but they're acting like men. And I think that sucks so bad, because it diminishes what it means to be a female. Rock, you're not a woman. What makes you think? Because I grew up with women. Stupid. Come on. I'm not trying to be mean, but let's stop acting so dumb. We know the difference between men and women. For all of us I was born in 1986. I grew up in the 90s. All right. Here's what boys do. Here's what girls do. And that doesn't mean that girls are better or boys are better. We're just different. And let's celebrate that. Men act like this. Women act like this. But Rock, not all men act like that, and not all women act like that. What if Hollywood's pushing that rare individual because they're unique? okay, I'll buy that for 1 or 2 movies and make it a big movie, and maybe for a couple of years. But for a whole decade, one after another, I think there was that movie, an animated movie. I saw one of my exes saw that, and she's like, "I was so inspired by that, because it's a young woman that's going against the norms for what it means to be a woman." And I'm like, okay, I buy that because there are people like that exist. But when one after another, like there's it's called the MCU. They're calling it the MCU because they just keep pushing this female feminist narrative. And again, if that's good for you and your ilk, go for it. But you're gonna lose a lot of people because it doesn't relate to a lot of us. And being a woman is an awesome thing, like a lot of us men, we know this. Like you don't hear about it in TVs and stuff like that because all men are oppressive and they just want a woman to cook and clean. No, men are inspired by women. Think of half the people are in prison. Think of the bank robbers. Think of why men want to be actors or football players or celebrities. Yeah, it is to build for their families, but really when it comes to building our families, it's because we want to get a certain type of woman. Like I used to weigh 378 pounds, right? My main motivation, my main drive when it comes to working out and losing weight was women. I had them on my mind. When I didn't feel like hitting the gym and hitting that treadmill, or, I want an extra cheeseburger, I thought of the woman I wanted, the hottest girl I wanted, and it drove me to exercise discipline, all right? Women and their feminine nature is a beautiful thing. When people talk about, okay, well, Rock, name some feminine qualities: nurturing, kind, supportive, encouraging, they're self-sacrificing, oh, really? So they can't put themselves first? What if it is a woman's pleasure to put other people first, right? Because that's something that's really lost in our generation. And I know I'm kind of going off topic here, but that is lost on our generation. Everyone's so self-centered. And first, I think 2 Timothy, there's a scripture that basically talks about this. When you hear, oh, self-love, love yourself, that's nonsense. That is BS. Yeah, take care of yourself. Yeah, don't allow yourself to get stomped over and treated like a doormat. But yourself, it is a man's pleasure, and I think a woman's pleasure, to be of use to others, right? That's why they say, oh, it's better to give than receive. But so many people are so focused on being received. When you talk about relationships, oh, what can he give me? What can he do for me? What can you do for them? When it comes to the Mary Sue and the strong female protagonist, that's one of the main problems, is that they treated women like men, and they made women to be men. And again, if it was true that it inspired, okay, this is why I think, if it was true that these strong female characters inspired women to be more, brave, like, I guess they like basically be the men that they want. A lot of these feminists and people in Hollywood and executives want women to be, because you hear it all the time. Oh, look at these extraordinary women, Michelle Obama and all of that. The thing about extraordinary women is that they're extraordinary. They're not normal. Most women will not be like them. And I think it's a cruel thing to push that on an entire generation, to have them all to want to be Beyonce's. No, a lot of them should be just who you are. It's okay to be the middle of the road. Be who you are. Like when you try to push yourself to be someone you're not, you can go get away with that for so long, but eventually you will wake up one day, see that you have all those things that the extraordinary woman has, but are you happy with it? Is it bringing you fulfillment? You don't have the family that all these middle of the road people have. If you're going to inspire women to be more like men and equality, oh, well, anything a man can do, a woman can do, you got to go all in. You can't go half out and expect, okay, treat us all as equals. Because I know this is going to sound really stupid, right? Oh, Rock, what do you mean? Everyone should treat each other as equals, but we're not the same. Right? I believe that we're all equal in value, but different by nature. We cannot be treated as the same. If I walk into a gym and I see someone staring at me, I'm not going to think, oh, they're making me feel uncomfortable. Let me go talk to the manager, or take out my phone and record them and put it on. Look at this guy. He's, sexual harassment. No, I'll be like, hey man, can I help you? Oh, I'm sorry. All right. It's all right, man. I just caught you staring. Oh yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, you're doing good too, man. Keep working. We handle it. This is how, if I walk past you and I pat you in the back, I wouldn't, and you're a guy, I wouldn't think to myself, oh my God, where was my hand placement on their back? But this is society that we live in. Basically what I'm saying is that the rise of social justice at the same time as strong female characters is chaos. it doesn't make sense, because social justice is basically using the village to get justice for you. Men don't do that. Men, you got a bully, you handle it. You know, if someone has a problem, you handle it. You know, you take it outside, you go directly to the person. Basically what I'm saying is strong female empowerment and strong female characters and all these Mary Sues does not jive with reality. Because if you're going to push this character, if you're going to push this paragon for people to look up to, have them look up to it. But I don't see that changing. I don't see people becoming more emboldened, empowered, and encouraged, right? What I see is all the benefits, none of the conditions. I want all of the good things and none of the bad things that come along with it. A lot of people who, oh, Beyonce is my hero. You know, it's like she worked her ass off. She sacrificed a lot. She works weekends, nights, hours. Where's your work? Where's your gains at? I mean, I might not use any of this. I just felt like I just needed to come out and say that, because when it comes to the strong female character, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing or a bad problem. It's just, let's be honest with it. I think without the honesty, without the lack of realistic, it's just a fantasy. And the fantasy only benefits and serves a select few of the demographics. And the problem is, people assume that if you're not part of the demographics that likes and celebrates and encourages these characters, then you're evil and bad and stupid and you're misogyny and, you know, traditional. And it's just nonsense. Right? Even other females are saying that this is silly. You know, like all the reason I haven't done this video, even though it's been on my mind for years, is because I've seen other content creators come out and talk about this issue. You know, like female content creators talk about this issue. I'm like, they knocked it out of the park. I don't need to say anything on this. But now that it's trending again, you know, and I got my book coming out, so there's pushing that, because I'm going to do a whole little spiel about what the book is about. But Anna Marie, Gladys Vanillet, even before them, my book, The Three Kings of Ybor, I wrote about a character called Eliza Christie. I love this character. She's one of my favorite characters. She is a strong female protagonist, but again, she's honest. She has a lot of the qualities that you see in today's modern women. Not saying they're bad, but we're just accepting the good and the bad. Meaning, Eliza Christie, again, she's very impulsive. She's not ruled by her emotions. She has when it comes to a goal, she can check her emotions at the door. But very often she slips and falls when it comes to the same weaknesses that a lot of women have, in that, okay, there's a good looking guy. Let me throw out reason and my principles to follow this guy, even though he turns out to be a bad guy. That's Eliza Christie. And you know, it makes her character interesting, because the betrayal, and when she finds out and she has no choice but to acknowledge that, damn, he really is a bad guy. You know, she gets really upset, but she doesn't really come out like a lot of people. They don't ever come out and admit that, yeah, this is my fault. But her anger, the rage that she unleashes after this guy basically kills her best friend, you know, she's mad at herself. You know, like she knew this guy was a bad character, and she fell for him because he's good looking. Anyways, that's really what I really wanted to say, man. I don't know. We'll see what this video does. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.